On now to a story that caught my eye on social media. I saw someone who's been on the platform before, from a group that we've had on the platform before, the group Let Kids Be Kids, which takes, I think, a very sensible attitude towards the exposure of young New Zealanders to sexual peccadillos and fetishes of adults, and tends to think that we should let kids be kids and not get them involved in that. It was a conversation on social media with Penny Marie from that group, in which she discussed a police document which made assumptions and passed judgment on people who question extreme trans ideology. And that is things like puberty blockers, things like this weird predilection for drag queens to read stories to kids in public libraries that happens all around the world. So what is it the police say about people who might question that sort of weirdness? To find out, we're joined now by Penny Marie, joins us by video link. Nice to see you again. Hi.
Yeah, good to see you, Sean. Thanks for having me this morning.
All right. So what is it that you found about the police's attitude, I guess, to people like you, and I would probably say to many of our listeners as well?
So I just want to, start by correcting you on just one thing. It's not a police document. It's a document by an organisation called Gender Minorities Aotearoa, but it's on the New Zealand Police website.
So they've published it.
So they have a page on their police website about their diversity liaison officers, and people can go and have a look at them for themselves. And what it has on there is a whole bunch of resources to support the rainbow community. And in one of them, and there's a whole lot, I'm just looking at it again, but one of them is this document called Preventing Anti-Transgender Extremism. So that's the document that I think you want to talk about today.
Yeah, that's the one.
So people need to know that the police are, something in the police is making them need to have to keep the trans community safe. But when you go and look at this anti-transgender extremism document, it is so extreme. I mean, it's this whole, what we know out there. And when I came across it, I'm like, hey, this is actually the playbook that they're using to say, if you're not trans or an ally of trans, you are an anti-transgender extremist. And they use strong words like genocidal, fascists and Nazis.
Can you read, have you got it up in front of you?
Yeah, I've got
you read
a whole
the
bunch of
passage
notes.
to us?
Hang on a sec. So they, sorry, I've got a whole lot of notes. I just wait one moment. So they're, in their introduction, they state that their strategies or goals and tactics of anti-transgender extremism have been described as genocidal. It says throughout history in the world, anti-transgender extremists, and I talk about this in my video, what they're calling that is us, anyone who's not an ally of them, have organised in a myriad of ways to dehumanise, harm, kill, illegalize and eradicate transgender people. And they say that people like us are advocating for violence and murder. And then they go on in this document to very deeply explain what fascism is, and they call anyone that's questioning them fascists and Nazis. And it actually says it is
Nazis. Did they go for that, or old chestnut?
It says it is likely that transgender women were classified by the Nazis as men, and transgender men classified as women, which is what we do, right? Because biologically, a trans woman is a man.
Yeah.
So they're saying anyone that says that is a Nazi, and that's in the document that has landed on the police
Has been
website.
published on the police website. So who is the group, though, who are the authors of the actual source document here?
Yep. So this is an organisation. It's a charity. So
It is.
Charity status. Yep. Called Gender Minorities Aotearoa. And I've just been looking at their financials because I love to talk about that. But they receive about $400,000 a year.
From whom?
And most of that money. So one of the organisations, so this is an interesting thing with the Charities Commission, is they don't now disclose who it's coming from. But they do get lots of comments on their website from an organisation called International Trans Fund, who have been given $6 million over a bunch of years to fund international agencies. But what they do have on their website is a list of their sponsors, so the people that are giving them the money. Okay, so they received, yeah, like over $400,000 in the last year. And the organizations, you'll find this really interesting. The organizations that fund them include, last year, sorry, 2023, one of them was Internet New Zealand. Internet
Oh,
NZ.
good Lord, that's a funny thing.
So you're tying that in with Fact Aotearoa, right?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, who else?
So,
Any government?
Yeah, so
Kiwi Bank in there, or?
Well, no, so how it works is that one of their funders is the Rule Foundation. So I did a video exposing how Jacinda Ardern and Grant Robertson from 2019 created something called the Rainbow Wellbeing Legacy Fund. And I found nearly $3 million that since 2019 they've funneled through the Rule Foundation, which funds these trans charities and all these rainbow charities. So both of those organisations have their logos as sponsors, that being the Rule Foundation and the Rainbow Wellbeing Legacy Fund. So when I put my video
these
out,
are government-backed front groups.
It's money from the government. Yeah, it's money from the government. So Jacinda Ardern and Grant Robertson set it up in 2019. They gave them $1 million, and then they've been getting about $400,000 since then. So those two are part of definitely government funding, which is why I say the government has funded.
Who are the trustees of this group, and do we know anything about them?
I could pull that up, but let me come back to that. But the other groups that are funded are absolutely positively Wellington City Council. So hey, ratepayers. The Tyndall Foundation. So the Tyndall Foundation, and that's, the warehouse, which we think Stephen Tyndall's a good guy, but his foundation actually funds a lot of these rainbow charities, and also the Wellington Community Fund, J.R. Mackenzie Trust, which funds a lot of them.
Oh, yeah.
COGS, Community Organisation Grant Scheme. So again, that's government money. And importantly, there's a group called Countering Violent Extremism Community Matters. So that's a government-funded agency as well. And they give grants out at around $50,000 to $80,000. And they say that what they're doing is, their goal of this one is to deliver positive online interventions that lower the risk of radicalisation and extreme violence. So when you tie all of that in with Internet NZ and Fact Aotearoa, they're funding everything that we're challenged by. And this is what I call out with Let Kids Be Kids, is organisations like Let Kids Be Kids, we don't get funding. Like, we're all a bunch of volunteers trying to get some information out to the good people of New Zealand. And this is what we're up against. And I just want to keep going there. The Countering Violent Extremism Community Matters group, you need to get this. Funding decisions are made by the Department of Internal Affairs.
Oh, good Lord.
Based on recommendations from an interagency panel, including representatives from the New Zealand Police, the Security Intelligence Service, the Department of the Prime Minister and Cabinet, the Ministry of Social Development, Department of Internal Affairs.
Well, don't forget the NZSIS at the height of wokeism told people to spy on their family members, and that if you platted your kids here, you were a Nazi. So this is, in fact, all the same part of the same woke infrastructure, isn't it?
It's all the same. I just want to say the last three. So Department of Internal Affairs, Department of Corrections, Oranga Tamariki, and the Ministry of Education. Those agencies of the government decide who gets this money about countering violent extremism, and they give their money to an organisation that creates a document that calls anyone that's not trans a fascist and a Nazi, and that's on the police website.
Wow, which is a way more than, and I got to say, in some ways what you've just told me, shocking as it is, doesn't surprise me, because they all work like this. And I thought the big story was how the police could let that be published on their website. The web of this is, and we've just spent 5 minutes there talking, and it is such a grift, it is such a labyrinth, isn't it, of intolerance, of taxpayer-funded intolerance is what gets me.
Well, and I've been looking at this stuff for a couple of years now and just trying to get the word out. But obviously, we don't have much funding, we don't have much reach. So I appreciate being on here to reach more people. But Tulsi Gabbard, Director of National Intelligence over in America. She did an update with to Donald Trump about a month ago of her first 100 days, and she said in the Department of National Intelligence, one of the things they were tasked with was finding where money goes, gets funneled. And she said, we found the DEI part of our organisation, and we've seen how much it's just a money trap, and they've shut it down. So, I can see, even without getting classified documents, how this money grift is happening in New Zealand. And literally they're funding themselves because they pay themselves obviously big salaries. And then they spend all their money on lobbying and on activism. And so I go back to the premise of being a charity, which I thought was you couldn't be political when you're a charity.
You're quite right on that. The other thing is, this is hate speech.